Mr. VWap.
Coach, how you doing?
Hey, it's been a long time.
No
Still
kidding.
smoking those stogies, huh, buddy?
Yeah, well, only when my girlfriend's not looking.
It's been too long. So, how have you been? Why don't we have you share your screen and talk a
Sure,
little bit about your method? But it's been so long. I even forgot. Let's get in a time machine for a few minutes and go
sure.
back to your origins and your what was your first gig
My,
in the business,
my
and how did you gravitate towards being a VWAP guy? I mean,
okay.
a lot of stuff to cover, but go ahead.
I grew up in the penny stock era of Vancouver in the late 80s, early
Oh
90s.
my goodness, you were
So
raised by barracudas.
I was raised by people who make Lex Luthor look like Mother Teresa.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
and we're talking guys. Most of my clients were the people out of Long Island and stuff like that. Who, when Jordan Belfort's firm closed down, they became stock promoters and sold
Okay,
their own. They sold their own paper instead of pushing other people's product. So
right.
what I did was I was the liquidator, right? Because we could direct trades from Canada from the U.S. trade desk. I could direct trades to whatever market maker we wanted. So I'd have Knight showing me bids and Schwab. They'd just call me when retail programs would kick off, and I'd be just liquidating hundreds of millions of shares of cheap insider paper from Swiss banks, banks in the Caymans, into the U.S. markets from Canada, which was technically
Wow.
offshore. So I've
Right.
done about 200 reverse merger IPOs, Nasdaq all the way to pink sheets, some Amex. So I've made markets. I'm the liquidator. My clients asked two questions. What was the volume? 10 million shares. How much did we sell? 3 million shares. Great. Click. That's
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Right. What's the
What?
dollar volume and how much did we participate? That's all we care about because it's a market, right? We're selling
Yeah.
stock just like you're selling bananas or whatever, right? That's all it is. We're just selling worthless paper. And then in 2012, I had a heart attack and had to do something less stressful. So I thought
Isn't that something that retail trading? That's the
I,
funny part of it.
I thought
Is
it would. I would thought
you're
it would be
having orders
easy.
fed to you. You have
Yeah.
orders fed to you. You
I.
didn't have to be right. All
Geez,
you
no
had to do
kidding.
was execute. Huh?
Exactly. Exactly. So I think this is going to be a slice, no problem, right? I start
Yeah.
retail trading. I lose $300 immediately, and I'm like, what? And then I discovered how difficult this journey of retail trading is because you can't cheat. You've got no size. You don't have an inventory that you could stuff a bad trade into and have it disappear for a little while, right? You don't have market makers who are willing to take bad trades for you and eat the loss because you give them so much order flow. So you're like, oh my God, I got to figure out what I'm doing. There's just no way to cheat. Trust me, I looked. And
Yeah.
so I found this market profile, and I've just been learning and teaching for the last couple of years now. And what I try and do with my guys in my room is I just try and keep it simple and teach them how to make some money every day without trying to hit those big swings, especially in the futures market. We train
Okay.
them on the micro and then graduate them to the mini,
Okay.
and just teach them how to make 300 to 500 bucks a day and just trade for a living before you start getting too big for your britches.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we look at markets structurally and with order flow. Like right now, we're going to the end of the quarter. So obviously, this is a markup. We've got gaps and things like single prints and short positions that is just propping this market up like a motorcycle on a kickstand.
What time frame are we looking at on your inside chart right now?
This one's daily, right? This is a
Okay.
daily structure chart. And because I've always been a net seller, I always look to see where the position is. And the blue stuff is where 70% of the volume is. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, that's their cost basis. They're going to take it up, and when they bring markets down and they sell them, we had a nice balance in what you call it in December, right? At the end of the December, we had this balance. And when we sell down, we always just come right down to that balance, which is just the cost basis. So, these markets have huge ranges, and it's, these big ex
All right. Let
Goldman
me.
working prop traders are making huge money. So it's kind of hard to
Okay.
trade these big ranges. So we like to chop them up.
So okay. So I know you're pretty much it's day trading what you're doing. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
right? So
Yeah.
you go home flat every day.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
have any areas of major supply? Can you put a different hat on and
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
instead of your microscope, maybe some what you would see, even though it's not the way you trade, but
No,
it could
definitely.
it could
Yeah.
be something. Where do you think big supply is above this market? And does it look to you like this move to the upside is sustainable? Do you
We're
have any?
coming. I think
Go
we're
ahead.
coming into some cost basis here. That
Okay.
4136 area. There's paper trapped above there. There was a big flush down. So these
Yeah.
ranges really flush a lot of people out. Believe it or not, the ES trades very similar to a penny stock. Just because of the lack of liquidity, you can come in with some size and move this thing pretty quick. I mean, the ranges are huge because we don't have money managers buffering like, acting like shock absorbers.
What are the spreads on the micros?
The spreads are good, but I'm just saying if you came in with some sort of a size order, you
Yeah,
would
you'd
move
move
this
it.
thing because
Yeah.
there's not the books are thin and man, these algos they execute so quick that they'll pull the bids so fast it'll make your head spin. You know,
Okay.
especially at like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. All these things that we've been watching. So I think I think if we could stay above this 4076, what I do is I come up with these zones for longer term traders. And I made these zones up at COVID and you just keep doubling them and doubling them. This is Jim Dalton's stuff that he teaches. And I just took it and tried to
Okay.
make it practical. So if you stay above 4076, your target is 4106, which is the middle of the zone. And
Okay.
then the top part of that zone is 4136. So now what we've done is we've looked above 4076. If we look above 4076 and fail to accept up here, if you come under 4076, you'll be looking for shorts down to 4046 for those longer term traders, right?
Okay. All
It's a
right.
really simple way of trading, but it works really quite nicely. And you can really manage your risk by using the levels. So if the market breaks under 4076 and you start building a short between 69 and 70, it starts getting up to 76, you can like start to manage your position by size by cutting some contracts, right? And then you can have a hard out, right? So your risk, where your risk is.
What's a hard out to you? A stop in the market
Uh,
placed.
yeah, that's a hard stop, like
Okay.
if you're trading 10, 15, 20 contracts and you're building a short position between 68 and 76. Now this is for
Right.
people who have larger accounts and know how to manage size, risk with size, right? They know how to manage a position. They don't freeze. They have the ability to do so. And that's a skill, and that's a skill that it's even after 30 years in the business has taken me time to learn how to manage a retail position versus selling 5 million shares of stock in a day. It's completely different things I found out. And so I'm still learning every day. I think I
Yeah,
always
we
will
are,
be.
aren't we?
I
Yeah.
think I always will be, you know?
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what kind of average account size are people coming in to take your course to trade
Uh,
micros?
Pretty
What do they trade?
small.
Like
Pretty
$500 accounts to trade
well.
micros?
That used to be the case. Now there are all these funded trader programs like Top Step and Apex, where people will pay a monthly fee and trade OPM, other people's money, but they have very strict, risk and
Guidance.
things like that. Just like you guys said, if you're trading our money, we want to know what you're doing, which is a really good thing for retail traders because I think I figured out why retail traders have such a hard time is because when you work at a firm, I mean, you were on the Merc and you had people to answer to. And when I started, on a trade desk, it was like, sit there, don't touch anything, make sure you don't screw up the lunch order. And so you sit and you learn, and sometimes you'd go to take a trade and somebody would go, what are you doing? Right? You don't
Right.
have that when you're sitting alone in your house, right? You have no risk manager, no credit
Yeah.
manager, no owner of the firm, who
No
knows.
oversight.
No, zero
Uh,
oversight, right?
with your bad psychology.
Exactly, right? And all these things like FOMO. I mean, if I had gone to my boss and said I got FOMO, he would have hit me in the head with a phone, right? I mean, those things. It's work, You don't get FOMO when you're a brain surgeon, right? Like let's just try this brain surgery. See, if, I'm kind of bored, right?
Yeah.
People,
Right.
if people acted the way they do at work, the way they do when they trade, they'd all be fired, right?
Yeah.
It's a job,
Okay. So
right?
I mean, so you tell us some of the most important lessons of trading psychology that you pass on to people. I know,
Uh,
most people start with risk management, but do you tell people don't be afraid of missing trades? There's always another. Take the
I,
pressure off.
yeah, definitely. That's number one. The other thing
Because
is,
people are, they don't get it and they beat
yeah.
themselves up for
Oh, I know.
missing trades. You know how I
Right.
know? I still feel it and
Oh,
have the awareness to say,
yeah,
Dale, because it's
yeah,
your paradigm,
yeah. And the thing
right?
is, what I've kind of a way to trick my brain, I found, is I've said, okay, I missed this trade. What is it telling me about how I'm doing business today? I might be slow. I might have missed that. But then I'll try and use the information that I get from missing that trade to help me on the next one. Right.
Okay.
And that took a while for me to get to. That was number one. The other thing was humility. Humility is the best risk management. And I'm not saying be tentative, but sometimes we all have to know our skill level, and you have to trade your skill level. That's why trading is a skill that takes time. I don't think I've ever met anybody who just sat down and traded naturally, retail and made money like
I don't know if
consistently.
there are any trading savants.
I don't think so. I've
I've
never
never
met
heard of
any.
one.
I've
They
never
could
heard of
play
one.
classical music on
Yeah,
the piano without lessons. I don't know. Um, okay, so humility, and the humility comes from understanding how powerful the market
exactly,
is. Just like a surfer
exactly,
has
exactly,
respect for the ocean
exactly.
because they have been humbled out there
Yeah,
and
it's
been
like
buried out there.
yeah. I mean,
So,
I can't expect to go and jump in the water and be Laird Hamilton, right?
yeah,
I
right.
mean, that man has
Yeah.
dedicated his entire life to being a waterman.
How
You
long
know,
did it take for you to get proficient, good, have enough confidence to say I could live off the market?
it's taken me. I started retail trading in 2012. I didn't
Okay.
figure it out until around 2016. And then
Okay.
from
4 years?
26, yeah, and then 2016 to 2022, that was like a very difficult growth where I'd be like, I do really well. And then all of a sudden I couldn't trade my way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
and the frustration of that, because I'm used to like wake up in the morning, sell 100 grand worth of stock, go out to lunch,
Yeah. Sure.
put another deal together, grab a shell, put some deal, we got some moose pasture, let's drill for gold you know, and, let's go rail off 50 million shares worth of stock in a couple of months. And, everyone's, no
It sounds
stress.
like you miss it a little bit.
Well, there's nothing like making the feeling of selling zero cost paper into, $5 volume. It's
Yeah.
just beautiful.
Yeah. Yes. So, I'm surprised. Do you think the same thing is going on in like altcoins
Oh yeah,
that
definitely.
have, I mean, aren't
Oh
they
my
like
God.
pennies?
Oh, they're
Aren't they the
beautiful.
penny?
I
Yeah.
think I
Do you
think
trade
crypto.
them?
I don't know anything about crypto. I don't
Yeah.
touch it, but I have a lot of respect for the guys who created and invented the market and have
Yeah.
got people to buy it. Because in the old days, we used to say, could you imagine if there was a market like this where there was absolutely no regulation? That would be like a
Yeah.
fantasy. And now they're doing it. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
and there's no SEC. They don't even have to issue stock certificates. You don't even have to pay for paper, right?
Yeah. It's
It's just
amazing, isn't it?
yeah, and then now they can get retail by just pushing a button and getting people, on social. Like in the old days, we used to have to go and drop $3 million on a direct mail program to get people to come and buy the stock.
I remember those. I did IR for a little while.
Did you?
So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, me
So
too. Yeah,
basically what I saw in IR is that you pay people to bring in the volume so
exactly,
you could liquidate the stock. So you might
exactly.
pay it and you give them free trading
Yep,
and restricted
yep.
and for that, and you hope you sell before they sell their free trading.
Exactly. Now the
Is
really
that it?
smart yeah, and now the really good deal guys, the guys who make two, three, $400 million on deals, they pay in cash. So nobody
Ah,
else has control of their stock because zero cost paper will always find the bid, right?
okay. Yeah.
So that's what they do. But yeah, no, these guys, like, I have clients that I started with in the early 90s who are billionaires now after doing 3 or 4 deals. They've
Wow.
just sold so much stock that and then they have public companies which are printing presses. You
Yeah,
know.
and you know that doesn't just go to Vancouver.
Oh no,
I
no,
mean,
no,
all the angel, a lot of these tech firms that venture capitalists come into, they don't
coach.
make it.
Coach,
Yes.
look at a Palantir. They have an S8, which is an employee stock benefit compensation plan that is a billion share registration. Who needs
Wow.
1 billion shares of free stock? And then you look at the chart, they just keep dumping stock in the float every month,
Yeah. That's
right?
it. It's like, comparing to the Fed,
Yeah,
that's their currency.
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
their currency. And then
Yeah.
have you ever had trouble um getting when your restricted stock had seasoned,
Oh, geez.
them not wanting to
Oh, my
convert
gosh.
it to free
Oh,
trading stock?
oh yeah, that's
Huh?
companies are always like that. That's why you always try and do deals with companies where you have your hand firmly around somebody's neck. Uh,
Yeah. 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 Right. Yeah.
you know
Wow.
that
Yeah.
that's
Well, now I know why you look. I couldn't take it for more than 6 months either. So,
I did every form of IR from being a phone chimp, like
yeah.
first level,
Yeah.
to actually then, paying our IR guys. And I
Yeah.
actually, because my first job as a trader, my boss was arrested because he was trading for the mob. So they thought I was bad news. So I couldn't get a job. I ended up working as a trader in a phone room, a boiler room. And the guy who ran it looked like Colonel Sanders. That's how low I sunk. So this was after nine
Uh,
11. So
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
never again. If I do
My
deals,
my bottom was selling Makata options in the 70s,
oh
which I bet
wow,
no one. Hey, anyone out here remember what a Makata option is?
I've heard the term,
Okay.
but I can't even say
Okay.
I do.
Anyway, that was it. I mean, you
Wow,
needed such a big move to just recapture the cost of the trade.
wow,
Anyway, I'm glad those days are done. All we have to do is be right and not stay wrong. So,
yep,
you want to show people perhaps your website and
sure,
what
sure.
their
Well,
options might be for, you know,
definitely, definitely.
working with you.
Yeah, we teach every day at this place called microefutures.com. Got a nice virtual stock photography picture of a trading room. I wish we had that,
What an
but
astronaut. Yeah.
but
Rocket ship.
it does look like, yeah, Steve did a great job on that. And we have videos. We take people who, who have size, and then we take people who are just learning.
Yeah.
We charge like $40 a month.
Okay.
So we keep the cost low so people can learn. And we have it's a trading room where it's kind of calm. It's a teaching environment. I teach for 3 hours every day. After I hop off on here, I'll go on for 2 hours on a Zoom. And we'll show people how to actually make a buck and not lose a lot. Because when you first start out, your big thing is trying not to lose money until you know enough so you can actually make money. So I come up with these little balance zones that we have during Globex, and then we can just trade the double of them. You'll see on that news reaction, we went up to my 97 and 3/4 and then faded back down. So we just, you can take the shorts into here, you can take the longs in here. My big thing is showing new traders how to find the bid. That's the whole thing, find the bid so you can work off of it.
Yeah.
And, that's all. We just keep it real simple, real simple. Just get in, get out, get paid, and don't have all the drama.
Do you have a recommended broker that your people trade through?
For equities, I like Centerpoint. They're really good. They're in your neck of the woods. For futures, I love AMP and Iron Beam because they're so cheap and the service
Okay.
is good.
What's it cost to clear micro lot?
It's about 78 cents round trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, reasonable.
And no PDT, right?
Okay,
Um,
what's that?
the pattern day trading rule for equities traders. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
so they can open
Yeah.
an account and you can learn with $500. And then with these places like Top Step and stuff, you pay $39 a month and you get to, you get 20 grand to trade with. But they, and then we teach you how to pass the evaluations because we partner with them. So we just want to keep people trading and just so they can just make a little bit of money every week, and pay that phone bill, pay that, instead of swinging for the fences and blowing up their accounts. We, in the old days, we used to call us grinders. We teach people how to grind. Yeah.
Well, we have a prop trader program here.
That's cool.
I'd like you to check it out and
Love to.
get back to me and let me know. One of the major advantages, most of these assessments, you have a limited amount of time to complete them. There is no time limit.
Okay.
So they people don't have the time pressure. And I believe it's with 8cap is the broker.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I've heard of them.
yeah, check it out. I know
Definitely.
Danny and I know the guys at Top Step, and I remember seeing Danny's big body in the S&P pit, and he's a good guy. Let me know how they compare, because
Definitely.
we're a lot of people are getting through. And gosh, it's great talking to you again, buddy. And the war
Thank you so
stories
much.
really take me back in a time machine to days I don't want to remember.
I miss those days because I was young and guys like you, that's why I really like you, because you remind me of the guys who taught me the business.
What, the Colonel Sanders guy in the room?
No, the old floor traders, the
Yeah.
guys, because the floor traders, we took them off the floor and put them in the office. And that's when I started. And they were like caged animals, because they had to sit in front of a screen now, and they would be pacing up and down the halls. So they just come and abuse me in the at the trade desk because I was the rookie. Right. And,
Yeah.
that's how I learned the business. Right.
All right. So everyone, you could probably start by at least following JJ at VWap Trader, at VWap Trader, and check it out. Trading micro lots, I think, is a great way to start. I think it's better than demos because at least you have the emotion of having some capital at risk. It brings money into the equation, which most people have crazy ideas about. So great talking to you again, my trading warrior brother.
Thank you so much, Coach. You have a wonderful weekend. And you're in San Diego, so go down to La Jolla for me, please. I miss that place.
All right, and you have a great spring trading season. You and all
sir.
your guys and gals, and I'm a fan. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. JJ VWap, and I hope everyone had a good week. And we'll be back Monday. Can join the team in looks like about 18 minutes for the morning edge. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Keep an eye on China next week. We'll see what happens when the president of Taiwan comes to LA to meet Speaker McCarthy. I do believe that there will be a price to pay for this from them. So have a great weekend, everyone. Adios. You're welcome, everyone. Thanks again, JJ.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.